Hello, this is Tom Prendergast. I am your CEO of Market Hive, and I have decided to start doing these weekly meetings or thoughts. And here comes that sneaking static. Don't know what that's all about. This is my new office and our new remote out in the middle of nowhere that God saw so fitting to move us. Started back in November, December, before we even knew there was this big coronavirus thing. Ooh. I'm going to tell you right now, it is a foreshadowing plague. It's not the real thing. It is designed to make you reflect. And those of you who are being driven home to work from home and take your children at home, welcome to my world. This is what I do. I've been working from home for, ever, from the 80s. And I've always homeschooled all my children. I'm still homeschooling my third child with my second wife. And we are kind of OCD as well, so germs and things like that we avoid, so we use a lot of isopropyl alcohol. We graduated to that from Purell because it's cheaper and more effective. Coming in, going the house, we always drop our clothes and take our shoes off at the front door and put them in a bag and wash them and take a shower, spray, keep the house, I spray the truck all the time. When we're out in the world, we are known to wear R95 masks and gloves, hoodies, and things. I even have a couple of biosuits from years ago that if things are really bad, I wear those when I fly an airplane. So I've always been kind of considered weird by the world until now. Now I kind of fit into the style. Isn't that so funny how God works? Anyway, I have some thoughts today. Because we are increasing in the Entrepreneur One program, we have hired another engineer. So you can expect things to get done even faster. See the benefit? You bless us, and we bless you. Do you get that point, right? We have designed Market Hive based on a vision in God's word to us that everything in Market Hive, all the tools, everything an entrepreneur needs is free. Our autoresponders, for instance, email. It delivers 98% of the time to the inbox. No other does. And it goes out within minutes, even seconds. And you would pay hundreds of dollars a month for something like that with GetResponse, Aweber, etc., MailChimp. It's free with us. No matter how many leads you have, you could have hundreds of millions of them. We're never going to charge you for it. And we have the state-of-the-art, highest quality technology. And we built it all. I've been building this technology for from 1996. So 96, 2006, 96 to 2006, 2006 to 2016. About 25 years, right? 24. It's our technology. It's built on multiple servers. And we are in the process of having literally thousands of servers because this is all going on the blockchain. Our capture page system, our widgets. We have eliminated so many steps so that your lead generation is high quality and far more effective than anything else out there. Other lead page systems cost as much as $200-300 a month. Ours is free. You have to upgrade to be able to have a lot of capture page systems, but you get a full-blown capture page system, autoresponders, and all that with us for free. That's the only caveat. Our Entrepreneur One program is working well. The Entrepreneur One program is a loyalty program that you pay $100 a month for to keep it active forever. But we have a lot of money portals that we're working on. Our banner system. When I say a banner exchange, I mean that you, as an Entrepreneur One, will have 500 one share of 500, and those shares you can use yourself, or you can sell them. That's what the exchange is all about. Right now, we have about 70 million impressions a month. Let's say 50 million divided by 500 is what, 100,000? 100,000 times a penny is what, $1,000? You can check my math. I'm not so good at it just doing it on the video. And I don't want to get the calculator going. But if you're paying $100 a month, we're at Alexa ranking 5,120 or 108 or something like that right now. You can expect to get about a penny, maybe even a tenth of a penny, without $100. It's a break even. But you look at the future where we're going. This is what I mean with, you bless us now while we're still small, and you keep that one share of 500 when we get really big. When we get big, like LinkedIn, you're looking at 100 million impressions in your shares, or even more. And at a penny, that's what, $100,000 a month, $10,000 a month. That's just one of the programs that comes with the Entrepreneur One. We got press release systems that are coming. You will get shares of that, and nobody will be able to come to Market Hive and buy the press release system except through you, through the exchange. Same with banners. They'll only be able to get them through you, not from me, not that top banner at the very top. That's the premium boardwalk, park place, the very, very best real estate on any site is that banner that you get. Now, Market Hive may offer some little banner somewhere else. We may or we may not. It's not that important to us. We want you to succeed with us. That's why we're doing this. So that press release system. A press release system upon the caliber, what we're going to be doing is upon the caliber of both PR Log and Cointelegraph. Cointelegraph charges a Bitcoin. That's about $10,000. If we do the press release, see, the press release will be part of the Entrepreneur One program too. And so will the video advertising. We're going to have a video advertising process too. And it'll be part of a game. Right now, the proposal is that when you're in the interface, whether it's on an app or on the computer, a little like butterfly will fly across the screen, or a little like video icon. And if you click on it, and there'll be like a little roller you push, it'll say this is how many coins you're going to get for watching this video. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. As we grow, I'm even going to throw a Bitcoin in there once in a while. Really, really spice it up. And then you watch the video. That's going to be another one of our programs. Boosting. To be able to publish to the news feed, pay a fee, and have it published out to everybody's news feed in the entire world, or you can choose countries you want the news feed, that to publish to. And there'll be a fee for that. There'll be an exchange for that. So the Entrepreneur One program will include all of those. And more as we add more to this. We estimate we'll have somewhere between 40 to 100 types of these money machines that only Entrepreneur One will be able to offer to the populace. And Entrepreneur Two will have everything Entrepreneur One has, except no banner exchange, and a very, very reduced share of an ILP. Entrepreneur 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, there will be no more ILPs. Because I'll tell you what, when we get to the 500 Entrepreneur Ones, we don't need to offer the ILP any longer. Because that ILP was the predecessor to help us raise money to build what we have. As more revenue comes in, we don't need to give away the store anymore. But to those people that are supporting us like that. Now the coin does the same thing. So the more involved you get in Market Hive, the more blessed you get. Our coin is going to be worth a lot of money because there's a demand for the coin. And we're going to build an API so that other people, other sites, like IBO Toolbox perhaps, other types of sites out there, can accept Market Hive coin. All this happens after we get the wallet installed and we're on the exchanges. And it's really easy for us to get on the exchanges because we're the real deal. It's just hooking the wallet in and the KYC and all that goes, and we have to get the vault. So that's coming, and we want that just as much as you do, because then it opens our territory out to other sites, and we can empower them with what we're doing. Okay, you get that? So as I've been thinking about this, I wanted to share this with you. If we have not sold all the Entrepreneur One upgrades, but we launched the Banner X, the BX, the Banner Exchange, at that point that the Banner Exchange is launched, the price of Entrepreneur One is going to $200, from $100 a month to $200 a month. The remaining ones. And what I mean by that is those of you who already have an Entrepreneur One, you maintain it, it'll always be $100. It'll always include all of these money machines we're building for the rest of your life for $100 a month. Now you think about that. We get as big as LinkedIn. LinkedIn literally has billions and billions of impressions every month, and you divide that by the 500, so you're looking at hundreds of millions of impressions. You're looking at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month selling the impressions for the banner ad. Just that for $100 a month. So you'd have to be a fool not to pay the $100 to make $50,000, right? And we're doing this for you because right now we're young, we're small, we're growing. I mean, we're at 5,100 and something. Can you believe that? I mean, I'm shocked. I haven't even launched a real marketing plan program. When we launch that, I don't want to launch it until we have the wallet in place. We're on some exchanges. The Banner Exchange system is working, and we're really close to the press release system. That's when I'm going to turn on the machine. And that's when hundreds of thousands of people an hour are going to be coming into Market Hive. That's when we're going to explode. And I truly believe that within years, we'll be bigger than Facebook. And I think we'll also be bigger than Bitcoin. Think about it. I mean, I love Bitcoin. A lot of money's been made in Bitcoin. I've ridden that train a little bit myself and enjoyed it. But the only thing that Bitcoin offers is the autonomy of it, the anonymity of it, and the security of it, and the virtually no-cost transactions. It's the Godfather. But what Market Hive is going to do is it's going to have an ecosystem where you develop the coin, you produce the coin by things that you do, and you spend the coin on things that you need. So Market Hive gives you the free tools. The Entrepreneur Program makes you the money. And that fits right into the vision that God gave me. Market Hive is the bold spirit. These are I got my notes here, what I want to talk to you about. And the bold spirit. Now you think about the bold spirit. I have no fear of death. Why? Because I'm with the Lord. Totally, madly, head over heels in love with Jesus. And I mean it in a very esoteric sense that I truly, if you put a gun to my head or my daughter or my wife or my best friends and said, hey, deny God, deny Jesus, or we're going to kill you or them, I'd say, okay, well, they're saved. Go ahead, kill us. I don't care. That makes me bold. Market Hive is a bold project. It's massively big. Been at it since 1996. It's 20-some years. Obviously, I'm a dedicated man. Obviously, you know I'm not going to quit on you. So, that boldness of building something so big, you're guaranteed you're going to fail. Because I've had people say that, Tom, this project is so big, you're never going to succeed at it. But you do if God's in the works, because God can do anything. If God wills it, it's going to happen. And I've seen him do it. I have a book that I've written by all of the miracles and visitations I've had. One of them, of the many, which one do I want to pick? My ex-wife, I don't get along with her very well. She had been diagnosed with liver failure and gallbladder cancer, been sent home to die. Trust me, she looked like a bag of bones with the skin wrapped around it, the color yellow with orange eyes, and she was jaundiced like you would believe because her liver had failed. Sunday morning, she woke me up with her laughing, hysterically laughing. I had no idea what that was. I woke up and was like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "Well, I'm being tickled everywhere." So I pulled back the sheets to look at this emaciated, disgusting body of hers, and there was just like hundreds of fingers pushing and pulling her flesh. Invisible. I mean, I literally saw that. I laughed hysterically watching it as she did, and then we cried hysterically, which is a indication the Holy Spirit is active. The next day she went to the doctor. There was no cancer. Liver was back to normal. Blood work, fine. She went in Wednesday to have a scan. Everything was normal. Gallbladder was no longer masticized. Liver was fine. By the end of that week, she had put on all her weight, back on her weight. Skin was white as ivory snow. She was a Swede. Hair was lustrous and thick and shiny again, like nothing had ever happened. The doctors had never seen anything like this, and they were completely shocked. I witnessed that. And here's another one. I'm building this is back in the 90s. I'm at the very beginning of building. Back then it was called Lamb Associates or something. Then it turned into Initech and then to Veritech and then into Market Hype. So that's the very beginning. I had totally run out of money. My bills were due. My credit cards are maxed out. I was faced with absolute total guarantee of absolute total financial failure. So I threw it all the wind, took my jacket off, was wearing a suit at the time, laid on the floor, rolled around like the Jews did in the Old Testament, praying to God, to Dad, "Hey, Pops, you want me to do this? I need $50,000, and I need it now." Got up, brushed myself off. Within 30 minutes, the very first guy to walk in the door was Norm Turgeon. Hello, Norm, if you're listening to this. $5,000 to do some software he knew I could do. I wasn't advertising it. Right behind him was one of his friends, Jose. He had $5,000 to build a website for a binary he was doing. And it went on and went. 10 people within 30 minutes all came and dropped off $5,000. It was either a check or cash. I had $50,000 just like that. I did notice that, how the Lord does things. I don't know, a year or so later, in a similar bind, I didn't even pray about it. I was just thinking, wow, the Lord bailed me out on this before. While I'm thinking that, the phone rings. It's an attorney. Got a client, wants to buy one of my domains, unionsquare.net. Willing to pay $50,000. Was I willing to sell? I said yes. Next day, Federal Express, there's the cashier's check and the legal documents to sign the domain off to the guy. And boom, there's another 50. This has been going on for a long time, folks. People ask me, well, is Market Hive the real deal? I wouldn't be working on it for 25 years like I am. I'm not stupid. I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm a really good marketer, really good entrepreneur. I touch things and they turn to money. I am totally dedicated to this. We always seem to be able to make our daily bread. Now I bring on this entrepreneur program, which fits into the whole thing. And now we're hiring more engineers. We just hired another really, really good engineer. So now we have Doug and 2 engineers. Boy, I'm telling you, start expecting some really awesome things. We're going to start moving faster. And the more entrepreneurs that we have, Entrepreneur One upgrades, the faster we're going to go. We get to 500, that's the tipping point. It's like strapping on the JATO packs with the warp speed. And man, we're going to blow right through. We're going to hit 100 million before you know it. So we'll talk about that. What happens when we hit 100 million? Well, LinkedIn has, 700, 800 million subscribers. And they have a 39% upgrade to their loyalty programs. Now, their loyalty programs are different than ours. And they have names I never seem to be able to remember. But on the average, they do about $80 per, on the average, $80, 39% of 700 million. So I am going to get a calculator for this. Hang on while I do this. So we get to 100 million. That's really not unusual to do. There are some companies, like Telegram hit 100 million overnight. We're slower because we're such a huge project. We are a huge project. We should be failing. We should have failed years ago. But God's not going to let us fail. He's taking us right into the exact timing that he wants. So back to the numbers. 100 million. And I'm not going to do 39%, though I'm positive we're going to go beyond 40% conversion. I'm going to do 15% conversion. So 100 million times 15% gives us 15 million. You take that 15 million, now our loyalty programs are going to run from around $20 to $150. The entrepreneur program is always going to be expensive because it contains the money machines. The smaller ones are going to have matching bonuses, increased data, and other things that you're going to want. Wallet, and that kind of stuff. So we're going to say 20. So we're going to multiply that times $20, and you're looking at a monthly income from that of $300 million. Now, what do you think I can do with that? We're debt-free. We have nothing but total automation. We are going to hire nothing but more engineers. So as those numbers get bigger, the faster we get to those numbers. Do you get that? This is why the Entrepreneur One program is so important for you to really, really understand. If I was you, I'd buy as many as I could afford, and I'd make sure everybody I know to come and buy it, because, I mean, what do you have to lose at $100 a month with a company that's been basically in development for 25 years by the same guy, me? I'm never going to give up. If we don't ever succeed, none of us succeed. Because I'm not going to take the success away from you. I'm going to build it for us. And I'm either going to do it according to the will of the Lord, or I'm going to die in the process. I will never, ever give up. Unless I have some kind of, like, I get hit by lightning when I've already been hit twice. Hit by a meteor. I've had a meteor sink a sailboat. Something weird's going on. And these are real stories, folks. I'm not kidding. You could contact my ex-wife, who doesn't like me, and she'll tell you that healing was real. You can contact my brothers and sisters, friends I've had for 30, 40 years, and they'll tell you, yeah, these are real stories. There's something about this guy. I always thought it was normal, but it isn't. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. You notice how God's driving everybody home with this coronavirus? It's not really killing everybody. Yeah, it's killing a small, tiny little perspective of them, percentage. But it's driving everybody home. They're making everybody go home and work from home. Now they're discovering that 50% of those people they've sent home to work from home don't want to come back. And they can effectively do what they were doing, driving to work and putting on the clothes. They can effectively do it from home. So what's happening here? God wants us to reflect. Is he preparing us for the end times? The tribulation? I think he is. Are true Christians, obedient, real, God-fearing, in love with Jesus Christians going to be raptured? I don't think so. I think we're being prepared to be protected. That's why we're being driven home right now. And homeschool our kids. What happens when you homeschool your kids? They're not indoctrinated by the agenda of the world. They're indoctrinated by your agenda. That's a good thing. I'm glad to see that. And working at home, and that's what Market Hive's all about, is to empower people to work at home, to have the tools, the communications, the community, the camaraderie, the support. That's what Market Hive's all about. So kind of like in how God works, we're ready for that. He's doing it, and now we're exploding in our growth. And we're going to explode even faster. So is this coronavirus thing a bad thing? No, it's getting you ready. It's telling you, get out of the cities. Have big pantries. Buy some extra freezers. Work from home. Homeschool. Protect yourself. Stop partying. Travel safely. If you're going to go out on the ocean, don't go on a cruise liner. Go charter a real sailboat and experience it the way God wants you to experience it. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise ship. It's just a big, gigantic hotel floating on the water, and you're really not really connected to the water. Have you ever been sailing on a sailboat? Well, I'll tell you right now, there you're connected to the ocean. I'm a surfer, I'm a sailor, I'm a diver. I love the ocean. I like being in the water. I can ramble. I also want you to understand, when you look at the Alexa, Alexa is it's like the tachometer of our engine. And as the torque of our engine grows, as the number decreases, it means the power of our engine gets bigger, it's faster. And we plug our money machines into that thing. They generate billions of dollars. You look at LinkedIn, LinkedIn does something like $1.5 to $2 billion a month. We can do that and better. And it's all shared with you. Even the lowly little freebies out there, who I just love dearly, you're going to generate tremendous advantages because you're making coin. That coin's going to be worth a lot because it's going to be demanded. Let's say we've launched the press release system, okay, and the banner exchange is running. Somebody comes along and joins in Market Hive because they want a press release. See, our press release system is going to publish out to literally hundreds of millions of places, hundreds of millions of social networks, on websites that have 500 to 1 million people looking at it every day, and publishing out to social networks. I mean, our social networks are growing. 10,000 right now on YouTube, 18, 20,000 in Twitter. When we launch our bonus or our bounty program, that's going to explode. And that's all part of our press release. So somebody comes along, they want to do the press release, and it's going to cost them. Why? Because they're going to want that exposure. So they sign up in the Market Hive, and they get 100 coins or 50 coins, because those coin numbers, and I'll talk about that in a minute, are going to go down. They're going to get smaller as the wallet gets released. So they're going to go to an exchange, and they're going to want to buy $10,000 worth of coin to do the ad. You know the law of supply and demand. You want to go to Cointelegraph, they're $10,000 to do a press release, and they just publish it on their front page. Nothing wrong with that. They have a tremendous amount of influence and traffic. Then you come to Market Hive, and you want to do the same thing, because we have even bigger traffic, and we have reach. They don't have reach. We have massive reach and influence. So they're going to go to Cointelegraph, and they're going to pay with a Bitcoin. They're going to come to us, and they're going to pay with Market Hive coin. Now, think about, what if we cut a deal with Cointelegraph and they accept Market Hive coin? Because we got the API to do that. That's a possibility. And those possibilities are big ideas that we are going after. Am I making sense yet? Looking at my notes. Now we're getting to the prayer part. I go into prayer and meditate before I do these meetings. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the reflection upon Psalms 91 as to Psalms 23. I started playing around this in my head, because right now Psalms 91 is the I'm going to bring it up here. Psalms 91 is the psalm of the day because of the coronavirus. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Shadow, see, there's the word shadow. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. And that is absolutely true with me. Surely He will say, I'm going to say for a second here, in the process of working on Market Hive over the years, and I'm so thankful that I have Douglas. And Douglas is a God-fearing man like me. There will be times when, that fear starts to sink in. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I having this fear? Just trust God. God says, just get to work. Don't worry about the money. Because, money is the problem I have to worry about, because I got to pay the bills and get the company going, right? So this prayer, applies to it. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wing you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. Boy, I can't wait for that. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. I mean, if you really, really, truly trust in the Lord, and you obey, and you fear him, and you walk that path, and you hear him, and his calling and his visions, you apply yourself to it, no harm's going to come to you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent, because he loves you. He does, and he loves me. It says the Lord, he will rescue us. He will protect us, for he acknowledges your name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. God is awesome. We are his creation. The world is his creation. The heavens and the stars in the heavens are his creation. The atomic particles are his creation. The different levels of heaven are his creation. The parallel universes are his creation. In his house are many rooms. He alludes to all of this stuff. It is amazing. Psalm 23. Now, Psalm 23 talks about shadows too. So in Psalm 91, we learn that God's shadow over us. When we hold ourselves close to God, his shadow overhangs us and protects us. Now, in Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He takes care of us. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, the shadow of death, there's that shadow, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. God makes these promises, and he holds true. You doubters out there, please explain. How Israel restored in 1948 on a Shemitah, 7-year Shemitah. And then the following Jubilee, they restored Jerusalem according to the Lord. Okay, now I want you to understand something here. Not only was Israel restored, the Jewish people were restored, the culture was restored, the shekel was restored, the religion was restored, all of the temple candle holders, bowls, all of that were retained and protected and brought back and restored. Nothing like that has ever happened in our history for any culture or civilization or country that was destroyed. They didn't even last 200 or 300 years, much less 2,000 years. That is a prophetic fulfillment, and it's a miracle. There is no other way to explain it, and it happened in 1948. We are in the end times. There is no question about it. You can accept it, you can reject it, you can obey, or you can rebel. That's up to you. I prefer to obey. Okay, I think my notes are covered. I think what you should get out of this before above and below everything else is the message. I want you to understand that when we launch the Banner Exchange, The remaining Entrepreneur Ones are going to $200. Those who have the Entrepreneur One right now, it'll always be $100 as long as you're current. The Entrepreneur One after we launch the banner exchange will be $200, and it will always remain $200 for those who come in afterwards. If you should not pay and your account goes into default, the account goes away. It goes back into the possession of Market Hive and will not be resold. So those of you who do have financial issues, you can sell the account, and we will have an exchange for the Entrepreneur 1 and 2 and 3. Also, the Entrepreneur 2 system will be coming out pretty soon, but it won't be opened up until the Entrepreneur 1 is gone. So you understand, Entrepreneur 2 will be a lot more expensive than Entrepreneur 1. It'll have everything Entrepreneur 1 has, except for the banner exchange, and it'll have 1/100th of an ILP instead of 1/10th. I want to thank those of you who are already doing the Entrepreneur One. You're making things really, really work faster for us. And us, I mean you and me. God bless you. I really, really appreciate everything you do. And thank you for being a member of the Hive.